This is a relatively short, maybe 20 minutes maximum, gentle practice that I personally like to do when I'm perhaps had a very busy day, I'm feeling a little stressed out, or there's some mental fatigue. And it helps me transition from all of that busyness or all of that pressure, whatever it might be, into a place where I feel more grounded, more steady, and more relaxed, and just better all over. So it's especially good for later in the day, afternoon, or evening, not so much in the morning, because you want to be a bit more alert in the morning. So I'm going to begin laying down here in what we call constructive rest. So by all means, please have something under your head if that would make you more comfortable. I like to take the feet slightly further away and then allow the knees to gently come together and the feet are wider apart than usual. And then I also like to just rest my hands on the frontal hip points and have the elbows wide to help relax the shoulders. If your low back was needing a little more TLC, I recommend you just put something, a blanket, a folded towel, under your pelvis to help gently coax it back slightly. And right away, just drop into the feeling tone of your body. Start to notice the breath, the movement of the breath in the body. And we're not looking for anything in particular. We're not looking to judge or wish things were different. We're simply beginning to tune our awareness inward and see what's present for us. So at a physical level, energetically, how you're feeling. There might be an emotional tone that's present. And of course, the mind. It might be weary and dull. It might be just overly stimulated, still fixing things, still planning. Again, no judgment, simply notice whatever is present for you. Along the way, just feel your body settling, the back body spreading a little, the shoulders releasing, and the breath becoming a little steadier. And gradually deepening and lengthening without any strain. And then let's bring the arms alongside and now parallel the legs and the feet. But you can still have a generous width between the legs. Just be comfortable. And on your next inhale, raise the arms up and overhead. Reach through the fingertips, and then as you exhale, simply bring the arms forward and down. And again, as you breathe in, and as the arms come up and overhead, let the pelvis gently rock forward a little so you feel a little more stretch out of the abdomen. And then as you exhale, allow the pelvis to rock back just a little. And do that a couple more times, moving with the breath. Keep the jaw relaxed the whole time. The eyes could be closed. There's a gentle rocking of the pelvis. This is the last time, arms overhead as you breathe in. And then reach the arms forward and down on your exhale. And then this time, arms overhead as you breathe in. Now on your exhale, bring the right knee to the chest, hold on to the leg. So either the hands on the shin or behind the thigh, but let the leg relax, let the shoulders relax, and just take another breath here. We're not pulling so much as just allowing the weight of the leg to help release into the hip and the low back. And then next inhale, bring the foot back to the mat as your arms come overhead. Left leg in now. Again, hold either behind the thigh or around the shin, but keep your shoulders soft, the jaw relaxed, and simply breathe. One more breath here. And then release the foot to the mat, arms overhead on the inhale. Now bring the right leg in again. And lengthen the left leg all the way down to the mat and let it relax there. And if that isn't working for you, then bring the leg back again so it's also bent. And then on your next inhale, point all your toes. You're still holding the right leg in. And as you exhale, flex both feet. Next inhale, both legs, feet to the mat, arms overhead. Let the pelvis gently rock forward a little. Exhale as the left leg comes in. Allow the right leg to lengthen and release all the way down. Next inhale, again, point the toes, all the toes. And exhale, flex both feet. Now we're just going to switch on the inhale. Left leg to the mat, right leg in, point the toes. And as you exhale, flex the feet. Again, switch the legs, point the toes as you breathe in, left leg is in. Exhale, flex both feet. Just one more time to each side. You'll switch on the inhale and point all the toes. Stay there and flex the feet as you breathe out. Last one. Switch on the inhale, left leg in, point the toes. Stay there and flex the feet. And then both feet back to the mat, legs are bent. You can take your arms wide. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Just going to do a little twisting now. Take a big breath in. Let your legs drop over to the left and sweep your left arm across the body and over to the right. Turn your head to the right. So let that left arm just drape across the ribs. And then inhale back to the center, the arms open. And then legs to the right. Look to the left, drape your right arm across to the left. Again, inhale, you can move the arms and then exhale as you land, legs to the left. Again, inhale, lift, twist, reach over to the left, legs to the right. One more time to each side. Try not to push the knees down. Think about the movement coming from, the low side of the back, the lower back on each side, around the hip, the outer thigh, outer leg down to the ankles. And then back to the center, arms wide. Come back to constructive rest so the knees touch if that's comfortable. Feet to move away from you a little, hands onto the hip points. Back to the breath, just check in again. Notice. And then you can release the hands, lift your feet, cross your feet, and gently rock up. Just come to sit for a moment. Soften your focus. Stay present with the breath. And then we're coming onto our feet. Just put your feet as wide as is comfortable. They can be up to the width of your mat. Bend your legs as much, again, as is comfortable for you, and hang forward. Relax your head and neck. You might feel some pressure in the belly. The legs wide enough so there's space for the belly and the chest. And just take a couple more breaths here. Sense the breath in the back of the lungs.
And that sort of stretching across, like there's a band across the back that's widening and lengthening with each inhale. One more breath here. And then we want to come up nice and slowly. We don't want to kind of agitate the mind here. So bring your hands up the shins below the knees. And as you breathe in, just gradually press the chest away from the legs, straighten the arms, and then exhale right here. Bring the hands above the knees. Again, lift the chest, straighten the arms, and exhale here. And then let's come all the way up. And then bring the feet parallel, a little closer. I'm going to use my blocks here. Suggest you do the same, or some folks like to have a chair in front. You just need a landing stage for the hands, and it might be the floor, it might be your blocks, it might be the chair. I always say, be prepared, because you don't know till you start moving how it's going to be. Hands to the heart center. Steady breath, steady gaze. On your inhale, sweep out and up. And then just bend the legs, reach forward and fold over your thighs. Here's where we land the hands on blocks, the floor, the chair. Tuck your chin slightly. You might tuck in a little more. Take another breath here. Then to come up, we're going to gently lift the head and the chest and then reach out, come all the way up. Feel your rooting down, reaching up. Hands to the heart center. Again, as you inhale, reach out and up. Drop the hips back, reach forward, softly kind of round a little over your thighs, relax your head and neck, land your hands. Take another breath here, maybe tuck in a little more. Breathe into the back of the body, the back of the lungs. And then gradually lead with the chest. The head will just come along. Reach out, root down, rise up, hands to the heart center. Let's step the feet out wide, wider. So not as wide as you might be able to stand. And I'm going to suggest, again, you have blocks just in front of your feet or to the side here. We want to have something again to land the hands onto. So we're going to do, some people call it a version of revolved triangle. It's a little more dynamic. We're moving. So let's start here. Take the arms out. Feel the arms and legs reaching out from your center. So I like to start with both legs slightly bent and really root the feet down, root the legs down, draw the waist in. Take a big breath in. Now you're going to bend the right leg, reach over and down to the right side. So it might be your block. You might be able to go down to the floor right away. But have the right leg bent, have the left leg straight, and your right arm can come up. It might like to just rest at the hip, or you can drape your arm behind your waist. And then as you inhale, I like to bend that right leg a little more to press up, reach out, and then bend the left leg, turn, come down with the hand. Next inhale again, bend the leg a little more. And over to the right. Now, if the right knee needs a little more space, turn the foot out as you bend the leg. Inhale again, back to the center, then the feet are parallel again. And then spin first, reach as far as you can, come down, lift the chest and turn. And let's just do one more to each side. Exhale. You might like to, if you're doing this again, work on extending the breath gradually, bringing it to balance, but gradually lengthening So the breath becomes deeper and fuller. And then next inhale, come back to the center, reach wide. And then the hands will come behind the thighs. Again, soften the knees, draw the upper arms back so we get a spreading through the upper chest, lifts the sternum and the collarbones. And then keep the legs bent, slowly hinge forward. The chin can come in a little. And we want to extend the spine. As soon as you think it's going to round, then bring the hands down, right under your shoulders. And again, the blocks at any height. It might be that putting it their highest point gives you more space in the body. So as you breathe in, here's where we're going to straighten the arms. The legs might straighten, they don't have to. Pull the chest forward and up. And then as you exhale, bend the arms and hinge forward. Pause the breath out at the end of the exhale. And then a nice full deep inhale. Again, come to that lift, straighten the arms. Exhale again, hinge forward. Hold the breath out just briefly at the bottom of the exhale. And one more time. Pull the chest forward and up as you breathe in. Exhale. And then stay in the fold. I'm going to suggest if you can take the feet a little wider, if that would be comfortable in your body, help yourself. I'd like you to try to rest the arms, rest your head. It might be on the floor. You might need to creatively stack your blocks. Might be a chair here, just so you can feel you're supported, you're grounded. Legs can remain bent. The chin is in slightly. The breath is steady here. No pausing. Couple more breaths here. And with your next inhale, nice and slowly, come back up to that lifted position, halfway lift with the arms straight. You feel free to use your blocks here. Just float the chest and stay here as you exhale. Then you're going to start to heel toe the feet in a little and then step them closer, but at least hip width. They can be wider. Bend the legs and fold over your legs. And then we're going to come down onto the mat, onto, let's see, a couple of options here. Either just keep your head down, spin around so you're facing the front of your mat. We could take this version of down dog. This is something I often do in the middle of the night if I can't sleep. I just have head down sort of postures. Shorten your stance for down dog, but widen the hands away from each other. So as wide as your mat, your feet as wide as your mat. Let your head hang. I've got my arms and legs soft here. And I feel my center of gravity. There's a lift up through the sitting bones. So this is an option. Also an option is coming down to all fours. Chakravakasana, where you breathe in here at the top. Exhale, either just round or continue and take your seat back towards your heels. Wherever you are, either in that version of down dog or a version of down dog or Chakravakasana, take one more breath. Then if you're in down dog, bring the knees down so we're all on hands and knees. Take the knees wider, big toes closer. Slowly sit the hips back. We're coming to child's pose. And I'm going to suggest again, we have some support for the head. So we really want to ground the pelvis here into the heels, the pelvis, the thighs pressing down. And if the hips are up here and the head is down here, that's very hard to do. And it's also more weight bearing on the knees. So you might have a blanket or bolster on top of your heels to bridge a gap. You might have 1 or 2 blocks under the head. And I have the forehead up by the hairline on the block. Just a couple more breaths here. Last one. And then slowly begin to sit up. You might need to bring the legs forward right away. And you might like to just sit for a few more moments, or for as long as you have or would like, or you might stretch out on your mat. Or Shavasana, or simply to just take a few more moments with the body in a place of feeling, neutral spine and pelvis, effortless breathing. Take as long as you like.